So, Bruno, thank you very much again. We were speaking about the relationship between the duo Uña Ramos, Bruno Pauvarel, with the Latin folklore.
The Uña Ramos had some problem with some South America because they say to Uña, why do you use this strange instrument, this strange arrangement? For Uña, it's not a problem. Uña is a creative, it's creation. And he wanted to create. He could listen jazz, classical music, Andean music, pop rock music. It's not a problem. He create melody, and sometimes he create a blues, for instance. There is a blues. Like all composer or creative, Uña evolve. Alors, with Uña in studio, we made 3 records in Uña's music, pure music, and we made 2 other records in Germany.
Okay.
It's more classical music.
Okay.
Okay. And but in fact, with all the other records, with some difference and new songs, it makes about 10 records. Oh, the first, La Magie de la Quena, 82. After 86, 86, this one.
La Princesa del Mar.
La Princesa del Mar.
Ah, is this the first recording in which you use the synthesizer?
Yes, it is the first, yes, with Roland synthesizer. Exactly.
I remember correctly, it's like a lot of processing, right? A lot of reverb, a lot of echo, and the pure sound of the quena and the antaras.
See, alors, in fact, I use, for the quena and antaras, I use a lot something like flangers, sometimes flanger, echo, digital, and reverb. And at one moment, I had a lot of pedal, and I use a pitch pedal, harmonizer pedal. So it makes a special sound, but not on only in Princesa del Mar.
So, how was that process like?
In fact, we make a rehearsal, and Uña was very curious. He tried all. So when you come with Uña, I come with my Stratocaster Fender, and he said, "Oh, great!" and show me. And I put a flanger, electric mistress. I don't know if you know the electric mistress electroharmonics. A very good pedal, very expensive now, very good pedal. And he said, "And if we try that on the flute?" And he said, "Yes, so if you can try." So he tried all, and after he said, "Okay, that's too much. No, it'll be okay." And that's all.
So you went exploring, and then you choose from that, and that is the recording.
Yes, and generally before the recording, I wrote all on music. I write all, and I explained to Uña because I was producing the music, and Uña wanted to know when there was bass. I made the bass generally. What sort of guitar? An electric guitar, not on that, yes on that. I had a lot of Les Paul, very good Gibson Les Paul, and he loves the sound of the Les Paul, so I used some Les Paul also. But on some special title, not on all titles.
So this was in 86, and you were working together since 82. So did you play a lot in that time? Did you tour a lot?
Yes, we made a lot of tour. That's why, yes, we played, I don't remember, but at one moment it was 220 or 30 a year.
Wow.
So it was a lot.
Work. That was too much work. And was that stressful?
No, it was okay. It was good because like that we can find a new melody. We made a new arrangement at the hotel. We play something.
in these 4 years, you gain confidence and friendship. I assume.
Yes, yes, of course, of course. And we
Uh,
go. Yeah, it's Uña was a good living guy.
okay.
He likes to go in bar and try another beer that he didn't know, to try another wine. He was a very good in wine. He was very, very good. And so it was a good friendship.
Mm. Was he older than you?
He was a lot older. Like for instance, when we meet each other in 82, I was 25 and he was the double, 50.
Oh, he was 50. Wow. Wow. So
But,
you knew him when his career was very much ongoing.
oh yes, I know his career. When I met Uña, he made. I remember in his apartment there was this of record he made.
You in 86 record La Princesa del Mar, that is very experimental exploration, and then you continue to work, and 93 you do Una Flauta en la Noche.
Exact, in Berlin. In 93 okay. It was in Berlin, in Philharmonie. So we made a management in Germany because we made a lot of concerts in Germany before. So at one moment, a manager proposed to Uña to play in more classical style, in classical place. And the best place in the world was the Philharmonie of Berlin. And Uña, to play in the Philharmonie of Berlin, said, oh yes. And it was a new experience. It was a new experience for him.
Okay.
So it was more classical. So it was more classical guitar again, 12 strings guitar, and I use also a Stratocaster on a Roland synthesizer for some tunes. And we rehearsal, we prepared new songs of Uña for this concert. But it was recorded in direct live on stage.
Wow.
And the first was direct live for the first concert.
Wow.
In Berlin, imagine. So I was with my music on paper and a bit, but it was okay. It was okay.
So I imagine you had to rehearse a lot.
Oh yes, we rehearsed a lot. In his house near Perpignan. It was in Perpignan at that time, not in Paris.
When did François enter the group?
Alors, François played some part in this album.
Yes.
He's a jazz musician, very good jazz musician. He made orchestration, jazz orchestration. And Uña loved jazz at that time and said, good, we can have another guitarist coming from the jazz. And François made some concert, but not all. He made 100 concerts, maybe something like that, until 86, 7 to 89 or 90. But not all concerts.
I wanted to ask you about the Uña instruments. I know he used to make his own, and I imagine he had to have a particular relationship with the affination, right? With tuning.
Yes. Uña made his flute and tuned his flute, and has a lot of different tune flute, G, A, B, B flat, etc. But Uña has more, how do you say, modal ear than tonal ear. So when he first fabrics a flute, he fabrics in the old style, like Indian, in modal style. It means modal, purely melodic style. Sometimes it was not in tune with me. So I said, okay, Uña, if you play alone, no problem. But if you play with us, with me and with us, you have to put a little more higher your third.
So there was a negotiation, right, with you, with his
Yeah,
partners.
it was a negotiation.
You were saying that he had a modal approach to the construction of the instrument, but then he had to be able to play chromatically, right?
Oh, of course, he could play anything, anything. First, when he fabrics modal, but with that simple wooden piece, he can do anything. Wow. Chromatic and all that. Sometimes, for instance, at some moment in stage, he didn't see the flute and he took the bad flute.
Wow.
But it was not a problem for him. He corrected, directly he corrected. He plays all different because he always uses here.
Wow.
So he can change. On any flute, he could change. It's like singing for him, the flute. Wow. You must understand that Uña doesn't play the flute. He sings the flute. He was singing the flute.
That's
so
incredible.
We play in A. He make a mistake. He take a B or he take a G. J flute. It's not a problem. He say it will be.
A funny face and he goes on.
He goes.
That's incredible. So did you see him change a lot with the instruments? Or how often did he change his quenas?
It depends.
How often did he make a new one?
Yes. No, he didn't change a lot because for him the difficulty was to have the cana from the lac Titicaca.
Wow.
Except for a flute in B flat that came from Argentina. This one, it's a bit lighter.
So
but he preferred.
So he didn't like wooden flutes, right?
No, Kenya. He played some wooden flute also, but it was just to have a brighter sound. Okay. For some tunes, a brighter sound. He could play on anything, even a plastic flute. It's not a problem for him. At the end, yes, he used more wooden flute at the end of his life.
Okay.
Él ya tenía como un modelo de quena. De hecho, yo tengo uno de sus prototipos.
¿En serio?
Sí, no está acá, por supuesto. Entonces, esa es el prototipo de una quena de madera, porque él empezó a construir, él lo que quería era construir unas quenas como profesionales, por supuesto súper profesionales, de muy alta calidad, entonces consideraba que podía hacerlo con madera. Y bueno, de hecho las mejores quenas de Uña, las de primera son de madera.
Mirá.
Con su sello. Tiene un sellito.
¿Tu sellito en serio? Nunca lo vi eso. Qué increíble.
Está en Humahuaca si la querés ver.
Hay una quena de Uña en Humahuaca.
Sí, hay 3 que ir a Humahuaca. Ahí cuando vino Uña en cenizas, la viuda dejó 2 juegos de quenas de él y se las entregó a la municipalidad de Humahuaca y está en el Museo de Instrumentos.
For instance, when we start the concert in 83, end of 82, he changed a lot flute. Every song he changed. He has a flute like that, and he changed. And with the time, he used less and less flute.
Wow. So at first, I understand that it was also part of the show, right? He had to show the different instruments. And as time goes on, he focused on the quena.
On the best flute for him that has the best sound. Instead, for instance, he preferred to change the digital, but keep the flute because the flute is better.
Okay, sure. And what was that flute?
This one was B flat. For instance, Camino de Llamas. Camino de Llamas is in B flat.
Okay. You went on to do Una Flauta en la Noche. Then there is a recording that's called Le Souffle du Roseau, maybe?
Le souffle du roseau. The breath of the roseau. It's another production. It's not the same production. Totally different.
What do you mean?
Technically, for the souffle du roseau, we use more instruments. It was more composed, more arrangement.
Okay.
For una flauta and a noche, it's more a duo. So there is guitar and flute. So it's classical guitar and flute, or synthesized guitar and flute, or 12 string, this one. This one.
Wow! Is that is the original guitar you play, right?
Yes.
Can you play a little bit of that?
Yes. Yes, if I have... Normalement, ouais.
Wow. That is so cool, so amazing, Bruno.
This is the original guitar.
That is the original sound. I can't believe that. That's so amazing.
I